Hello again. My name is Sonia Park. I'm the Executive Director of the Charter Schools Coalition. We're a coalition of diverse by design charter schools. Our mission is to catalyze and support the creation and expansion of high quality, diverse public charter schools through strategic research, advocacy, membership activities, and outreach. We've had a lot of conversations already about ESSER funds and what our members are hoping to do with them to um, start off this upcoming academic year in a stronger position. I actually just visited one of our member school this morning. It's a dual language school, and what they're planning to do with some of that funding is to fund a summer school program and summer camp. It'll be 5 weeks, free to parents, but it'll also be twofold. One is academic intervention. So even though they've been have had in-person instruction for since the spring, they recognize that their students are behind, and so they are going to be using those funds to bring in additional tutors and staff and make sure that the students are caught up as much as possible. But they also want to make sure that it's fun. So there's a summer camp component. So they'll be doing weekly field trips to visit not just the park, but cultural highlights, everything that has been shut down over this past year. They want to make sure that they're exposing their students and getting out there and doing those things. So not only are they doing the 5 week of summer programming, they're also starting 2 weeks earlier than the district's calendar. Their first day of school is August 30th because they really, again, want to make sure that they are fully supporting their schools and they're also recognizing that their parents are working parents and that having 5 weeks of full day instruction and camp for their students relieves an additional burden on their parents that's for that particular school. So that's what one school is doing. I know another school is also looking into providing free after school care for next year. And again, to use that additional time for remediation, but also again looking at it's a relief for families instead of trying to find aftercare and then paying for it, that the school is actually going to set that up for them and keep them in a safe space and also keeping them on track and hopefully catching them up to where they can be as successful as possible for next year. The reason why I emphasize summer camp and after school and how it ties back to being elements of diverse by design school is that when we look at student population, especially in a diverse school community, it's not just looking at racial diversity, it's also looking at social economic diversity. So if we're in a school that may have 60% of their families are eligible for free and reduced lunch, that means there are other stress points for them. And for them to continue to be in that space and show up fully, they will need the additional supports of having summer school or summer camp and after school care to keep them in that community. So that's another piece of how we ensure we're looking at things holistically and it's not just focusing on the data points and numbers. There has to be a humanizing factor about how we're looking at and using our data. A big part of the work that we do when we're talking about our members is highlighting what they do and especially the the connections they have with their communities. So a prime example for me is one of our member schools in LA during the height of the pandemic when their students were all virtual. They realized and they knew that there was a serious sense of food insecurity with their families. So they became a food bank and they let their families know that once a week food would be available, no questions asked, for them to come and pick up foods. It was also a great point for staff and administration to talk to families and talk to parents and just check in with them, not just focusing on how is your student doing in virtual class, but how that family actually is surviving in the pandemic. You know, was it just food that they were worried about? Were there other issues like immigration status? Were there issues about unemployment? And they were trying to be there for community and not just focus on the academic portion, but really look at the families that they're serving. Um, Not just in LA. There's a school in Queens, New York, that also did something similar, where they went to everyone's house that they could, maintaining social distances, but made sure that all the students had devices that they can use. And they were also given hotspots to make sure that they can have that access. And when when technology doesn't happen, when laptops broke down, they actually went with their tech person to that student's house to fix that laptop because they're really concerned again about the connection point. One last example is that we have a school down in New Orleans, and they actually brought a mobile vaccination hotspot van to their school to make sure that vaccinations were available, not just to staff, but to the community. And that is, again, anchoring in the work that they do because you just can't show up in one aspect. You have to show up overall for your families and for your staff and for the students that you're teaching. Um, I think this is really, really important, not just now in reaction to COVID and also with the racial justice uprising, but it has to be a constant thread throughout. And that's what we see happening with our members. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we're celebrating. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of the work that we do at the Diverse Charter Schools Coalition, specifically around charter schools and the intentional work that we're doing, not just in creating intentionally integrated school space, but also working hard to make sure that we are closing gaps, not just the opportunity gap, but also the empathy gap. Because for us to all get better collectively as a country, we have to know how to live and work together. That's one of our mantras. So please, if you have any questions, go to our website, take a look at our work, reach out to me personally. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.